Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. I'm David Vogel, Judge Executive. Happy to have you here today for our meeting on the first day of June, 2021. So if you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mm-hmm. Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America and to the Republic of the nation.
Liberty and justice for all.
It was really a beautiful Memorial Day in Oldham County. Yesterday at the courthouse, yesterday morning, we had a really nice observance of Memorial Day with perhaps the largest crowd on hand we've ever had. It was an absolutely beautiful day, as close to heaven as you can get on earth, and the sun shining very bright in Oldham County. So it was a wonderful day. We also had a very nice dedication last Saturday for a new statue in downtown LaGrange at the History Center, commemorating the life of E. Bruce Heilman, an Oldham County native who was a superlative individual in education and a wonderful fundraiser for Marine Corps recognition and other events throughout the country. So it was quite a nice weekend, and we're happy to be here today on the first day of June. So, Denise, please call the roll.
Magistrate Likens, Magistrate Tice, Magistrate Harrison, Magistrate Greenwell, Magistrate Hounds, Magistrate Hawkins, Magistrate Dye, Magistrate Loxton, Judge Vogel.
Having all members of the Fiscal Court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
Second.
Are there any additions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We also, I'm going to ask if everybody can hear us well today in the auditorium here. Garbled? We've been working on our microphones for some time here, and we're going to get them right, regardless of how long we keep working on them. So, from this vantage point, it sounds okay, doesn't it?
You're being garbled. Yeah.
Sound garbled as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, Denise is a little bit, but yours is worse than hers.
All right. How about if I moved up? Does that help any, or does that make it worse? Pardon?
Staticky.
Staticky. Okay. Well, since I'm not doing too well, we'll have Denise read the minutes from our last meeting, which was May 18th.
The Oldham County Fiscal Court convened at a regular meeting at 2 p.m. with Judge Executive David Vogel, County Attorney John Carter, and the following magistrates in attendance: Brent Likens, Wayne Tice, Albert Harrison, Steve Greenwell, Chris Hounds, Stephanie Hawkins, Bob Dye, and Michael Logston. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the agenda as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Logston to approve the meeting minutes from May 4th, 2021. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to approve the budget amendment for the Sheriff's Office, making an adjustment for an additional $60,129 in overtime pay, producing a total budget of $2,322,178.69 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. During public comment, Pam Isaac of Wayno Drive, Lakewood Valley Subdivision in Crestwood, Kentucky, addressed the court to ask if there's a plan for paving in the Lakewood Valley Subdivision. She commented the roads in the subdivision need attention in 2021. Ms. Isaac also commented on the green boxes throughout the county and suggested the boxes needed to be cleaned up or removed. County Engineer Jim Silliman reported the Lakewood Valley subdivision is not in the current paving plan for this budget year ending June 30th, 2021. Information for the paving plan projects for the upcoming fiscal year is being gathered, and those projects will begin July 1st, 2021. Mr. Silliman is unsure whether Lakewood Valley subdivision will be included in the plan for the next budget year without being able to compare the roads in the Lakewood Valley subdivision to the other roads and ratings involved in making the plan for the county. Paving plans are based on a rating system, and Mr. Silliman's initial review of the plan reflected most roads in the subdivision were in better condition than many of the other roads in the county, except one court, which had a lower rating. In addition, Ms. Isaac addressed the court regarding 3 houses full of garbage in the Lakewood Valley subdivision which need to be cleaned. Judge Executive Vogel noted Code Enforcement Officer Chris Clark will survey the exteriors of those homes which need to be cleaned in the Lakewood Valley subdivision, and a member of the engineering department will survey the roads in the subdivision. Magistrate Hawkins commented that she is working with Code Enforcement Officer Chris Clark on taking steps to improve that pocket and other pockets of the county, and Ms. Isaac's concerns are not being ignored. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to authorize payments of the payables as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to approve line item budget transfers in the amount of $113,772 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Judge Executive Vogel explained the 2 lines of the fiscal year 2022 budget presented for public hearing. Mineral severance tax, $151,055, and county road aid funds, $642,070. The mineral severance tax is used for the county's match of various transportation improvement projects such as the Buckner Connector, bike and pedestrian trail expansions, and Old Floydsburg road safety improvements. The county road aid in the past has been used for the general repair and upkeep of county roads, paving, and snow removal. As required by the Department for Local Government, the floor was opened for public comment for the purpose of obtaining citizens' comments regarding the possible uses of the county road aid and local government economic assistance funds. There being no public comment, the public hearing was closed. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Harrison to approve the contract amendment to increase the Old Floydsburg Road contract in the amount of $7,192.88. Oldham County's 20% match for this amendment is $1,438.58 as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Dye to authorize an extension to the completion date for the Old Floydsburg Road construction project from May 14, 2021 to May 31st, 2021. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Logston and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins upon recommendation of the Human Resources Grants and Technology Committee to accept the job description for recreation programmer as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hawkins and seconded by Magistrate Logston upon recommendation of the Human Resources Grants and Technology Committee to accept the job description for Laborer Recycling Center. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Tice to accept the resignation of Brianna Marshall from Dispatch effective 5/14/2021 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Logston to renew the contract with Chief Greg Smith as Chief of Police effective 6/6/2021 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell and seconded by Magistrate Logston to accept the resignation of Brad Catron from the Maintenance Department effective 5/4/2021 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins to hire seasonal pool hires effective 5/18/2021 as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Judge Executive Vogel and seconded by Magistrate Tice to appoint Gretchen Chitwood to the Board of Adjustments to fulfill the unexpired term of Rob Houchins, who is resigning effective 6/17/2021, with a term to expire 1/1/2022 as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. During public comment, Emergency Director Jerry Nart made the following comments. EMS Appreciation Week was May 16th through 22nd, 2021. Pee-wee Valley Fire Department member Amanda Moore was struck by a vehicle while biking. She sustained injuries but is recovering. American Legion Post 39 has scheduled a Memorial Day celebration on the courthouse lawn Monday, May 31st, 2021 at 10 a.m. A ceremony celebrating Flag Day, observed on June 14th, will take place on June 13th, 2021 at Veterans Memorial Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Parks and Recreation Director Gary Parsons made the following public comments. The pool is scheduled to open May 29th, 2021, and his son is a member of the North Oldham High School archery team and participated in the KHSAA State Archery Championships. He was the only NOHS team member to make it to the state championship in the past 2 years. Motion made by Judge Executive Vogel and seconded by Magistrate Likens to enter executive session pursuant to KRS 61.8101C, discussions of proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the public agency. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hawkins and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to reconvene the open meeting, motion carried unanimously. Judge Executive Vogel reported there were no announcements to make regarding the discussions of the executive session. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried unanimously. The meeting adjourned at 3:55 p.m.
You've heard the reading of our minutes from the meeting on May 18th. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
the flag ceremony is the 12th, not the 13th.
Are there any other corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Time now for a public comment at this meeting. Is there anyone who would like to address the fiscal court who has come today? Seeing no one, I'll close public comment and go on to the first item on the agenda, and that's the paying of our bills. When you're ready, we'll accept the motion.
Make the motion.
Moved and seconded that we pay this period's bills. Any discussion on anything? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we have some surplus property to our budget transfers, that is, to discuss. And Melissa Horn will take the court through that.
As of today, we need additional budget transfers of $8,640 to cover lines that are in the red, as we say, by transferring money from other lines that are under budget.
Again, motion, Judge, you approve the transfers of $8,640 for this.
All right, is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, now we'll be up to surplus property, Melissa.
This is just an item that we need to get off our books, but the old jail building, as we call it, across the street, when we moved into the new facility in 18, we did surplus all of the contents that were being replaced in the new building. So what remains on our books is the actual building, a roof repair in 1997, some stoves, and a washer. So I'm asking you to surplus those so that we may remove them.
So moved.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now we'll have our second reading for our 2021-22 budget. This is a public hearing, and anyone who is here to speak in favor or in opposition to anything in the budget will be allowed to do so. Because of some extraordinary expenses that are planned for several items in the coming year, our budget for 21-22 is increased about $6 million over the current year. That increase brings our budget to $48.5 million. The extraordinary expenses involve planning for expanded broadband service in the county, new animal control facility on Highway 393 across from the Oldham County High School football stadium. And we also like to improve certain roads in the county. By improvement, I mean widening and doing some other things beyond paving. We have a number of roads that need attention, and so money has been allocated for that. We put $1 million in the budget for road improvement. Our budget for road paving is $1.8 million. The current county debt is $19.6 million. most of which belongs to the new detention center facility. There's a little bit that is left over from other things, but the vast majority is to the detention center. Oldham County at this point is in a very strong financial position. We have more than $40 million on hand, of which approximately $31 million is in the surplus fund category. So we're in very good shape financially, and we're able to accomplish the goals we have for the coming year. Other than a few changes, which we're going to announce here now, the budget has been reviewed by the Finance Committee. It's been all magistrates have had an opportunity to review the budget and ask any questions that they had. The budget's also been published in the paper and online so that the community could take a look at it to the extent that there was interest there. The changes from the first reading, there was a $15,000 on page 18 that was not included in the subtotal of section 5400. The correction has been made, and that $15,000 was taken from reserves. On page 17, what is labeled as other amounts may not have a budget of more than $1,000, so $2,500 was moved to the office supplies line for that. Page 3, the Sheriff's Office fee pooling did not agree to the calendar year budget submitted by the Sheriff's Office. His budget was amended on May 18th to agree with the Fiscal Court budget. On page 16, we created a new line item to capture road improvement expenses. $300,000 was moved from what had earlier been allocated for paving. On page 20, an additional $700,000 was put in a new line item to capture $700,000 from reserves that had been actually created way back in Judge Wendell Moore's day when the surplus was a very tight amount, questionable from year to year, and Judge Moore started setting aside funds in case there was a road emergency that couldn't be handled. That is actually just accumulated year by year. We've decided that it's time to spend some of that $2 million accumulation on widening roads and making other improvements to some roads that are fairly dangerous and restrictive and need attention. On page 13, there's increased engineering projects of $150,000. That was for Goshen Hill Phase 2. That's not going to come out of the county general fund. That'll come from the stormwater account. The stormwater district will be supplying that money. And that's also another $150,000 for the Goshen Hills Phase 2 project that stormwater is going to handle as well. So that's the $300,000, I guess, coming from stormwater. Is that correct, Melissa? Not? Okay. Come and straighten me out on that. Or is this the same thing on two different pages?
It's $150,000 on one page. It's added in revenue coming from stormwater district.
The other is expenses. So.
Yes, so it's a wash.
Okay, thank you. And we're working on the IT storage room over at the Methodist Church. There's a need for a generator pad and some electrical work there. That is going to be an additional $11,400 that was not anticipated in the budget for that project, so that money will come from reserves as well. So those are the changes in the from the first reading that have taken place. Before we go to the magistrates, is there anyone here who would like to address the budget for the proposed fiscal year in favor, in opposition, or whatever you'd like to say? I Seeing no one who wishes to address the budget, we'll go on now to the magistrates and ask Magistrate Dye, is there a motion from the Finance Committee to accept the budget?
Yes, sir. There is.
Okay. Is there a second? Right. Do we have any discussion among magistrates on anything here? Magistrate Greenwell.
Judge, in our deliberations about the budget, we spent many, many hours, the Finance Committee and the department heads and all that, and yourself and your staff and our staff and everything. And as I told you, I was ready to vote to approve the budget. There's some line items in there that I either think should be different one way or the other, and whenever the time comes to vote on that particular project, we'll discuss it in more deliberation then, as far as I'm concerned. So that's the only comment I wanted to make.
Azure Dye.
Yes, that's pretty much a comment I was going to make. It's just make sure that everybody understands, not just the managers, but the general public. Just because something is in the budget doesn't necessarily mean that that money is allocated to be spent. We still have to go through the maturations up here to get that money from the budget and to an actual project or something that we're going to do. I've been on the Finance Committee now for since I've been here since 2010, and this is probably, in my opinion, the most transparent piece of work we've ever done. We're getting good at it. And there wasn't as much. I think the judge may agree. There wasn't as much as gnawing and gnashing of teeth as there has been in the past. But I think we've done a good job, and we didn't have a lot of questions. So, but anytime anybody has any question about a budgeted item, that doesn't mean our ears, the Finance Committee doesn't stop working today. We're always looking at the budget every month. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Major Hawkins.
I wanted to compliment the Finance Committee for having open doors and open ears and open phone calls to help flush out any questions that other magistrates or the public had. Thought it was good and positive.
All right, seeing no further comments and having the motion to approve it second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda today is a waste tire grant agreement. Becky Zucklein would review that report.
Afternoon, Judge and members of the Fiscal Court. Thank you for this opportunity to once again revisit the waste tire grant annual allotment for recycling tires that are brought to us at the recycling center. It's a grant of $4,000 with no match, and we are allowed to spend that throughout the year. So I'm asking the court to give the judge permission to sign this application form.
Do you have an idea of we're going to have an event, or what is your?
It's not
just turning it in at the recycling.
These are tires that are collected throughout the year. The events that we have are once every 3 years, and that was this past fall.
Angela Hawkins.
Make the motion that we authorize Judge Vogel to sign the tire waste agreement grant for $4,000.
For a second?
I'll second, but I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
You happen to have a copy with you, Becky? Can you check it back at your office on arrow number 3? It says we expect to disperse grant funds during the month of June 2020. I'm thinking maybe that should be 2021.
You're right.
I noticed that, and I just want to make sure you get down.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Have a motion and a second on this. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item are some change orders for the IT storage and construction project. Kevin Nuss will explain that to the court.
Before you, two change orders for the IT storage building. The first one's they're both pretty straightforward. The first one is for a new hot water heater. Instead of the bid called for replacing the hot water heater that's in there now, but that was a very small 5 or 6 gallon tank. So what we're wanting to do is to put a 40-gallon tank downstairs. It gives us a little more room upstairs, and also provides more hot water for future use should we need it. So while we're in there doing the construction, this became an issue, and for very minimal cost, we can put a much larger hot water heater in there that will be beneficial for future use. You want to take these one at a time, or both of them?
One at a time. Okay. Motion that we make that change.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion on it? All in favor, please say aye. Motion carries.
Second change order is actually part of, if you remember when we put the bid out, we also asked for a bid for options or alternatives. So this is basically the alternative one that was created, and this deals with the rough-in for the new generator that we need at the site. Because this is going to be an IT hub for our broadband, we cannot allow the site to go down, so we're going to have a generator there. And this is the work that will be done in preparation for having the generator there. However, we're not exactly sure what generator at this point we need. When Jacobs got there on site and started doing work, we realized that we found out that the gas is actually ran to the PVA building, and the meter is actually on the PVA building. So they are doing their due diligence now and checking out to see if there's enough gas pressure to put a gas generator, natural gas generator on site, or we may have to switch to a diesel tank generator. So they're in the middle of doing that now. So, but this rough-in work will stand for either generator option we go with. Once they've determined, after discussions with LG&E, I'll come back to you and with a better or a quote on a generator.
A motion that we approve this rough-in work.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Magistrate Greenwell?
Thank you, Judge. In walking by the dumpster out there, I noticed there's a lot of concrete in the dumpster. Is that new concrete, old concrete?
That is new concrete. The subcontractor that Jacobs used to pour the foundation footing for the new part was poured incorrectly, and so they made the concrete subcontractor come back, pull all that out, and replace it. So that is at no cost to us. That's a mistake on the contractor's part.
Okay, thank you.
One more, Jason. By happenstance, I just happened to go by there when I was coming in earlier today, and there may be more concrete, but that's good. We've got a good job foreman that's taking care of us.
Mm-hmm. They've been very responsive to our needs. When the concrete company was there, they left a mess. They actually cleaned out their concrete truck or some part of it in our parking lot and left. And their superintendent made them come back and clean that up. And then as they were cleaning it up, they leaked some diesel fuel, and he made them clean that up as well. They've been very responsive and very respectful of our site.
We kind of have a county ordinance against it, don't we?
We do.
Absolutely.
Well, you can't be right.
It wasn't a whole lot of concrete, but it was enough that they needed to come back and clean it up.
Excuse me.
I wanted to pick up, wasn't it?
They made him come back and power wash the parking lot.
Pass this up. They do it everywhere else. They might as well do it here too.
Okay. Any further questions here, Magistrate Dye?
Comment. I know this is kind of off side here with this. Didn't Rodney say that he was wanting to? Thank you.
You
hear me now? Okay. Didn't Rodney, our maintenance director, didn't he say they were wanting to seal the parking lot and stripe it? Don't we think we should wait till we get this building done, all the?
Already decided that.
All right, well, I never heard anybody say that. I just want to make sure that it was on somebody's radar.
We talked about in the building committee meeting, we were gonna hold off on that process till all the construction work was complete.
All right, okay.
All right, we've got the brick sidewalk coming, and you know, sometime here in the next, hopefully the next month, right? Right. So we don't want any mess out there. Let's get all our work done and then clean up the parking lot. Are there any further questions on this?
I have another comment after we vote.
Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Were you going to do the standing order page with the budget, or are you going to do it some other point in time in here?
Did I miss one?
Standing order page, yeah. Page 20. Fourth page from the end on the budget, page 23.
Well, we should do it. Right.
I didn't know if he's planning to do it now or differently.
I mean, I think we do it now. Some reason I had in my head that we did that at the beginning of the year.
Unless I'm wrong, I think you got to do it every budget, don't you?
Yeah. All right, you want to make that motion?
Standing orders would change from budget year to budget year.
Well, the standing order things are telephone bills, utility bills. They're all the routine bills that are different from month to month, probably.
Yeah, but what I mean, it's your reoccurring expenses. But what I mean is the list could change from one fiscal budget year to the next. You had to drop some off, add some on, maybe.
Here's July 1.
I don't know, but it says
well, do you want to make a motion to that effect, please?
Yeah. I'll make a motion that the standing order list that follows this that we approve for this budget year of 21-22.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And carries. Thank you. Next item has to do with Jim Silliman has the next few here, and that has to do with erosion control and performance bonds. And Jim, go ahead.
Afternoon, Jim Silliman, County Engineer. We discussed at Road Committee all three of these items, and I'll go through them one at a time. The first is with regard to the Claymont Springs subdivision erosion control bond, and you'll see there's separate motions for the erosion control bond and the performance bond to be done separately. But as part of the agreement between the City of Crestwood and the property owner that sold the property for the temporary courthouse, the road construction and the bond work for that subdivision was accepted or assumed by the City of Crestwood. And so as that has been resolved, and actually the City of Crestwood has paved those streets, they were done very recently as part of their spring 2021 paving. I recommend, and the Road Committee concurred at their meeting earlier today, that the fiscal court release these bonds, the erosion control bond and performance bond, for a total of $94,000. The erosion control bond is for $17,000, and the performance is for $77,000. So the first request would be for a motion to release the erosion control bond in the amount of $17,000.
Okay, who's going to get the money? Crestwood?
Well, this is returned to Southern Financial, who was the bondholder.
Okay. Like there was a default in there somewhere. Back with Claymont.
Getting into the entire agreement, I don't have that information available. But the bond is filed with the county treasurer. The name is Southern Financial, so that's who we release it to.
Okay.
I'll make that motion, Judge.
Any discussion on this?
The question we want to ask now, was there any default on any of these bonds?
There was a problem in Claymont Spring. getting the thing paved, and there was a problem with the subdivision. Apparently, Crestwood has taken it over, and with the sale of Crestwood Manor, somehow or other they took the property, and apparently if they've paved it, they've assumed all responsibility. And if they brought it up, I see Jim is wanting to bring it into the county here, correct?
Bringing the roads into the maintenance system won't be part of any motion today because we've recommended City of Crestwood do that. There'll be Crestwood streets, and Mayor Jim Kramer will take that to his next city council meeting. The process, this was requested by Southern Financial's legal team, who went through Vaughn and Pettit, who works for the county.
Okay.
And then it subsequently came to our office.
I think it's all right. Crestwood wouldn't have paved the roads if they felt there was anything wrong. So,
was there a default on the bond? What was the default?
Don't know.
Yeah. I had a lot of those when I first got here.
there was an issue in Claymont Springs, but I think it has been resolved with the sale of Crestwood Manor.
The roads are paved, and you're giving the bond money back, so apparently everybody must be happy.
Everybody's happy. Okay. All right. Do we have a second on that?
Yes, I made it, not seconded.
Hearing no further comment, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, Jim?
The recommendation is for the performance bond, to release the performance bond in the amount of $77,000 for the Claymont Springs subdivision.
Make that motion.
All in favor, please say aye. Carries. Thank you. Anything else? Did you
Yes, sir.
contract?
As part of the spring 2021 paving package, we had added some work to be done on Mayo Lane, and subsequently we've discovered some more work on Mayo Lane in the very near area. There's about a 400-foot section just south of a patch we're working on, and it makes sense to have the contractor do this patching and paving while they're in the area, so we don't have to pay an additional MOB fee later on. So this request is for approval for a contract amendment in the amount of $8,971.27 to add this work to Mayo Lane this year.
Magistrate Greenwell? You
Make that motion, Judge.
Any discussion on that? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Harris, are you voting back there? Can't hear you way back. That's all right. I don't hear a no. I assume it was a yes. Okay. Next item here is personnel action. Ms. Shaw.
Afternoon. Before you all this afternoon is, let's see, the police department, we have a resignation, Michael Rittenhouse, and that's effective June 5th. You want me to just go through it?
Well, let's do the police one at a time.
I'll make that motion, Judge, we accept the resignation of Michael Rittenhouse.
Second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye. Motion carries. We wish Mr. Rittenhouse, Officer Rittenhouse, the best. He's been a good officer for us, and we appreciate the service he's provided in the county.
The next item is a new hire. It's a 4-year lateral for the police department. This is Tyler Burke. He's coming to us from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. He will start at $23.64 an hour, and that would be effective June 15th.
I'll make that motion, Judge.
Moved and seconded, Tyler Burke be hired for his 4-year lateral, effective on the 15th of this month at $23.64 per hour. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Some pool hires.
And we can do all these at once here.
Seasonal pool hires, we have a concession worker, Tristan Hubbard, 3 aquatic assistants, Riley Willett, Alex Witt, and Waylon Starr. all at $7.40 an hour effective today. And then we have a seasonal hire for parks maintenance, a laborer, Kevin Reyna Padilla, at $15 an hour, and that's effective June 5th.
Motion to hire these individuals?
So moved.
Second.
In discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried. Thank you.
Last one is retirement at the road department. That's Troy Woosley, and that was effective May 26th after 27 years of service.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Oops, sorry. Mr. Greenwell?
I just want to say good luck to Troy. He's been a good employee, and after 27 years, he probably deserves a little rest. And on a side note, I didn't get any special favors, but he took care of the roads that were on my bus route for a while, and he just did an excellent job. He didn't do anything special. He just did his job. And so, anyway, it was greatly appreciated by me.
All right, thank you. Best wishes for Troy. All in favor, please say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, final item on today's scheduled agenda has to do with appointment to the Police Merit Board. The Police Merit Board is made up of 4 individuals. 2 of them are Republicans and 2 of them are Democrats. One of our Democrats, Norman Brown, has left the board. He's been on the board for 10, 12 years, something like that, quite a long time. He's done a good job. He'd like to basically have more time to spend with his grandchildren and do other things. So he asked to not be reappointed. So in his place, I'd like to appoint Sherlonda Gray for a term to expire on May 1st of 2025. Sherlonda works for the state Justice Cabinet. She's a program administrator, and she works with juveniles and helping them and trains staff to work with juveniles and to get their lives back in order. I think she'll do a good job and is very interested in helping Oldham County. So I'd like to ask for this appointment, and I'll make that recommendation. A second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we're after our second public comment. Anybody here who has come in? Don't see any new faces in the auditorium, so I think we'll probably close public comment. And we do have an item here about setting a meeting for the end of June. We always do this to take care of 4th of July travel issues that any magistrates have. And I did have a suggestion here. Normally we meet at 2 o'clock. Someone's asked if we could meet at 10 on June 29th, since it's a special meeting and we may not have that much business, but we have a few things. Do we have any issues with that? Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. We'll stay at 2 o'clock then. So I'd like to sweep the floor clean on the last day of the year. So we'll see if anybody sends us a bill on it. So is there a motion that we meet on a special meeting on June 29th at 10 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, sorry. 2 o'clock. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we're just about on record pace here for a meeting today. Mr. Harrison?
I probably should have said this earlier, making a change to the agenda. But I would like to have an update, if we can, on 6533 Jacob Drive, just so we don't lose sight of that from meeting to meeting. Sorry about putting you on the spot, Jim.
All right.
Updated in order. I can't remember the dates though, but I think it was 2 Fridays ago we posted notice on the property. If it was Thursday, I'm sorry which one it was. We have required to give notice, which was one of the steps that we missed the last time. We were going to put an ad in the paper as well, and we did also serve at least one of the owners and through the sheriff's office. So we're in a 30-day waiting period, and I think there's a 45-day altogether from the time that we started taking action. And then we would, in the meantime, I'm going to ask an opinion of cost to carefully tear down the building and save the foundation. If it's considerably less than $30,000, I'll get 2 or 3 contractors to give me pricing. I have to ask 3 minimum. If it's over $30,000, I'll have to advertise so that at 45 days we'll be ready to take action and tear the building down.
Do we know the location of both of the owners?
One owner was served at the Oldham County Detention Center, and the second owner was sent a certified letter, which is, as far as we know, in the has not been delivered, is waiting to be delivered. It's in the post office at, what was it, Glasgow?
I think it was.
Scottsville.
The last known address.
The last, and the issue was also advertised in the Oldham Era.
All right, thank you.
Oh, that Scottsville owner is not reached, we will have made a public announcement of it.
Judge, 45 days runs out on July 3rd.
I think the second copy went to, whatever it is we're saying, what we sent out, a copy of the...
It was certified, and it was to be delivered by the sheriff.
Down there in
they transferred it down there. They can't deliver it themselves, so it was transferred, and I guess it's just in, we haven't gotten...
Certified mail also was sent to the sheriff.
Well, apparently they can't come up with the person down there, or the last known address. Mr. Dye, did you have any further comment? Or okay, no. All right, thank you. All right, I think we've reached the waning moments of today's meeting. So let's see if Magistrate Likens has anything he'd like to add.
Thank you, Judge. I just wanted to tell everyone that the Building and Maintenance Committee met today, and we have decided to go with the construction manager project delivery for the new animal control building. We will be having another special meeting June the 10th at 10 o'clock to discuss that in detail with the Architectural Investments architects. I'd like to also say I'm very sorry to see Michael Rittenhouse go. He helped me personally on a case where someone wrote 6 checks out of my banking account with my business for almost $12,000. And they caught them, and I think they went to jail for it. I'm not sure, but I'm sure he'll have a successful career. And as a reflection of our Chief Smith out there, I think, just to have good men that work under him, and I commend both of them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Measure Tice.
I've got a little item that I'd like to bring up so to drag this court on a little bit longer. I had a constituent called me a couple of weeks ago, and that he's got some stormwater problems on his property. And I did a little investigative work, and his original complaint came in 2018, and we're in 2021 at this point. We seem to be having time to get that done using the road department in a part-time type of manner. And I'd like to be the first one to recommend something to bust the budget. But as I was thinking about it, says, how do we fix this? And especially in a time when we don't have inmates to help us with, that our road department is already shorthanded. I think there's 3 or 4 short, I'm going to say 3. And it's hard to get any of those people to go over and do storm work when we need to be doing road work. And as I thought about it, we need to get the road department up to full power But I think we need to change the philosophy or think about this possibility of acquiring 3 guys for stormwater funds or stormwater projects. Then if they have free time, and from what I understand, this list is pretty long, that if they have free time, then we'll let them help the road department. Because the ideal of having the road department come over with the stormwater is not getting it done. So I'd like for that to be thought about so that we can fill up the road department with men and get a stormwater department also. And then if they can go over and help the road department, just food for thought. But we do need, when it's identified that it's our responsibility, we as the government should have some time frame when we can get this done for our voters. And I just think it's worth thinking.
Where is that issue?
This issue that I'm speaking of is in Buckner.
And be a little more specific. What street or?
It's in Darby Point, but I don't know the street, to be quite honest. I'll have to think. I'm not sure.
We had one in Darby Point years ago, but I think we put a nice head wall, put some, riprap down there. I don't know if it's the same place, but that, I can't remember the exact date, but have you heard about anything down there? We've had the suggestion you make is a good one. I think it's been around and around and around. The problem is that you can't get the reason that the road department's short of help. We're not going to have any better luck getting anybody for the stormwater team. You can't have nobody applies for the jobs unless we're going to raise the rate to a point that they're going to step up and make, I don't know where to go. Tina advertises all the time for people. We don't get anybody that wants to work.
And I understand what you're saying, but we have to do, it is our responsibility. And having been in a business myself for a period of years, you have to be able to tell your customer when you're going to get it done. I think they deserve that much. And voters are customers, except they're called constituents. It's the same person. And I think we should be able to give. And I think it's all through the county. I'm just not saying about this.
In the budget, there is a change that should help hire the folks that you're speaking of.
Thank you.
Right, it's an ongoing issue that just, with all departments, particularly those that road is one, dispatch is another. That we've gotten the salaries up, but they still, it's hard to get people to come out and work when they get paid more money to stay home than they do work. Agent Harrison.
But couldn't this type of work be done on contract? Doesn't have to be county employees, does it?
Good point.
Repair work that, why don't we consider that? We could definitely be more responsive that way. It's probably more expensive, but.
Well, you hit the nail there. But if that's what it takes, if that's what the court wants to do, we'll get that done. We can maybe find some people, but I'm not exactly sure. Some of these stormwater jobs are not in the category of a little paving or people that normally get hired to do. I'm not sure if they're, Jim, are you aware of any small service stormwater people that, I don't mean small service, but,
less complex.
Less complex, better term.
Some of the items, just to expand on it, some of the items that are being referred to, they don't get addressed as quickly as the others because they're less critical. We want to focus on homes that are flooded or roads, if the water's overtopping the road. Some of these are nearing an aesthetic issue, but they are issues that we'd like to address in the near future. We'd like to. We could try and look at what you're saying, Magistrate Harrison, and see if we could put together a linear grading package, do numerous ditches throughout. If we can't do the alternative, as was mentioned, I'm not sure if it was you, Magistrate Tice, or Judge Vogel, That could add some cost if you're looking at doing contract work versus in-house, but it's a balancing act we can entertain and work on.
Thank you.
And let me say one other thing, Judge. I'm not trying to put anybody on a spot except the 9 of us that are sitting right here. All of our people
Right.
I've talked to have done all their work. It's just I think that the people that need to be put on the spot is us to figure out how to get it.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Judge,
Sure.
we do have the grant program. We could expand that into more areas of what it will cover, what is allowable under the grant program. We could expand the amount of money there. If people, what they want, what they need, maybe sometimes two different things. But as far as contracting it out, if we got our salaries up to the salaries of the people working for the contractor, we'd have people to do it ourselves. We wouldn't pay the overhead. I mean, it's
Our grant program is up to $7,500 now, and so that means that we'll pay $75 up to that amount if the homeowner pays an amount, equal amount. Doesn't have to be a $15,000 project. We'll split a $10,000 project or $7,500. It has to, obviously, the cost of the project, even though we have this money allocated, it has to be justified. But I can think of someone right now that's got flooding in the backyard, got a blue line stream there, water's getting close to the house. I offered $7,500 to help him if he came up with an equal amount, if needed, that amount. Well, haven't heard back.
Yeah.
So,
but there's probably some people out there say, I'll tell you, you go get it fixed, I'll pay half the bill. There are some people that would take that deal. Maybe not.
how about if we okay, we're kind of getting out of order here. Okay, Magistrate Hawkins, yeah.
When I first started as a magistrate, the match was a 75-25 match, and now it's a 50-50 match. I've suggested it may maybe go up to 75-25 again, and up to that 7,500 and percent, 75%, 25%, and then market it, and we may get more of a response.
Right, an idea. Okay, are you finished, Magistrate Tice? Okay, how about Magistrate Harrison now?
I'm here. Just a quick follow-up on that. Next time, in the next few days, when you're driving around the county, take note of how many signs are out there looking for employees, because they're everywhere. They're like dandelions. Or hire, apply here, call this number. I mean, they're everywhere. And nobody's getting any response because they're making too much money sitting at home on government money, I think. I don't know. Anyway, military observance days between now and our next meeting. June 6th, as most people should know and remember, is D-Day. That's a big one for patriotism and veterans. June 12th is Women Veterans Day. June 14th is the Army birthday. June 14th is also U.S. Flag Day, and that entire week of the 14th is National Flag Week. More importantly to me and several of my friends, the entire month of June is Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Awareness Month. And if you're not familiar with PTSD, as it's called, look it up, because it is for real. And we are still losing 22 veterans per day to suicide. Thank you.
Thank you. Major Greenwell.
Thank you, Judge. Everything I have to speak about is about the Oldham County Schools. Next Monday, June 7th, is the last day of the school year. And I think there's going to be a comprehensive summer school program this year, so still keep your eyes out for the kids because they'll still be getting on school buses. We have a new superintendent, Dr. Jason Radford, was chosen to be the new superintendent, and I think he's going to be a really special person and do a good job, so I look forward to working with him. 50 years ago to the day, I graduated from Oldham County High School on June the 1st, and it was very special. I thought I got a good education, and evidently a lot of people think Oldham County schools are still very good because they're still coming to get it. And on a side note, there was a young lady in that graduating class that 5 years after that I asked to marry me, and we will have been married 45 years this July.
Great. What day?
That we got married July 24th.
That's something. Well, I'm not.
I don't know why it took 5 years to ask her, but I did. And
Yeah, she had to think about it.
she did.
That was a 5 year.
Well, that'll be easy to remember because we're 45 years, July 25th. We were both doing the same thing 45 years ago. Yeah. Well, that's great. Congratulations to you and Karen. All right. Magistrate Hounds.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Judge. Just as a comment to what Magistrate Tice was talking about, the people that are on the bottom of the list for the stormwater work, while their homes may not be being flooded, it's probably as important to them that work gets done as the person that's on the top of the list. I don't know how we do this, but like we've talked about with the broadband, we're trying to take care of the underserved and the no-served. Maybe we can start whittling away at some of those lower, I don't want to say less important projects, but the projects that have been on the list since 2018, and because of priority, they're still on that part of the list. Just a thought. This week's starting today is the annual collection for the WHS Crusade for Children. It's going to be very different than it has been in years past, partially because of COVID. Not going to see most of the fire departments knocking on your door. They're going to be driving through the neighborhoods with their lights on and with making some noise with the siren. If you feel impelled to give a donation, step outside and wave them down. They'll be happy to take it from you. The good thing about the Crusade is that all the money that Oldham County fire departments turn in comes back to Oldham County. So it benefits our community directly. And 100% of the money collected comes back to the community, which you can't say that about most charities. I said congratulations to the chief of police earlier. We have 3 new recruits on the street that graduated from the police academy. I think it took almost a year, Chief, to get them through, not because of us or because of them, but because of the whole COVID thing. That speaks volumes for this court to hire the 3 recruits, 3 people that hopefully will make their career, long-lasting career with Oldham County Police. Thank you.
Agent Hawkins.
In May of 2020, the court agreed to hire a highly credentialed professional to look at the trees in Westport, and he did a fantastic job. The mention of him was also brought up at the May 5th, 2021 meeting, and just about an hour ago, we approved the hiring of somebody else, another equally highly credentialed professional to assess the trees in Westport. And I'm looking forward to hearing how that assessment went. Both great professionals and highly credentialed, both of them. And so I'm, like I said, I'm looking forward to hearing that. And I think the Parks Committee is going well as far as Westport Park is concerned. So I just wanted to mention that the trees are being looked at continuously throughout the park to determine the state of some of them. I have today. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you. Magistrate Dye.
Going to be out, as Magistrate Greenwell said, and so it's in my end of the county. When school lets out, or when school starts, with an uptick in things walking away from automobiles at night, and people reaching in and getting them. So just another reminder: just put your junk in your trunk, or if you don't want it, leave your door open. So thank you.
Right, Magistrate Logston. Okay, don't have it. Junk in the trunk, or leave your door open or window down if you want to give it away, I guess.
Guys out there need a new set of golf clubs. This is your opportunity.
Well, for some reason, I don't think thieves are golfers. I don't know why, but although maybe try it. Pardon? We don't condone stealing. We certainly don't. You mentioned Westport Park. Magistrate Hawkins did. Stopped by the park yesterday, and there were a large number of boaters there. It was absolutely stupendous day to be outside and on the river, and a lot of people were having a lot of fun. They were all nicely parked in the parking lot and on the grass areas, all lined up. They didn't just head out in every direction. They followed, without being prompted, I assume, an orderly pattern to park. It's a beautiful day, and we do have added 10 picnic tables down there, and are continuing to upgrade, pick up any loose wood, different things, and the Parks Committee is continuing to evaluate ideas, and I believe Magistrate Tice will be meeting soon with Tetra Tech people.
Yes, hopefully. Jim's supposed to be talking to Chris Deal, I believe, with Tetra Tech, because we're passing it off from Mike Prather to Tetra Tech, and then they're going to do some of their studies, and then they'll come back to us with RFP, I guess, Jim, and then we've selected them as the engineering company, but not on this. We have to do the RFP on this particular project. Then they'll go forward, take what they got from Prather, add a little to self, shake it up, see what we got. And hopefully in the next couple of months we'll have a direction to go in. Yes.
And we did have another person evaluate trees, and they found a couple that they said were definitely needed to come out that were looked at. And I do believe, though, at least one of them may have been marked earlier than the next that was there, and there was some pruning of branches that needed to take place, and we're going to have the road department do that. We don't want anything to fall out of a tree and hit someone down there.
One that was previously marked too big for the road department, or?
I don't think so. We had Ben Kimbler. I think he felt they could get it. You know. So Ben is our tree expert there. As you die, did you have something?
I just want to get a clarification. Our special meeting on the 29th, does that negate the meeting for 2 weeks from now?
No.
But it will negate the first meeting in July?
Correct.
All right, just want to be sure.
Right.
Anything.
Major Greenwood?
There's one other thing, in talking about the budget and the Finance Committee and everything, we spend a lot of time on it, as I said before, but between Melissa Horn and Stan Clark, we couldn't have got it done. Those were the two that pulled the numbers together, and I'm sure Stan was, in your office, and we talked to Melissa a lot, so it doesn't get done without the staff.
Right. No, we appreciate our finance team and also our department heads. Everybody works on putting this together to serve the community, and we've got a good budget. We have a lot of projects underway. The Oldham Reserve, the roundabout is in out there, and paving is pretty well. I think it's at least roughly extended all the way to LaGrange Parkway at this point. Paving's in there, right? And Peak Road East is going in. We're going to rebid the community center in another month or so. We've got the broadband underway, the Westport Park underway, sidewalk work underway, work over here at the church underway, and I'm not sure, am I forgetting anything? There's quite a few projects we have going, so we're making a lot of progress, moving forward, and happy to see the big turnout at the farmers market too on Saturday. We've had, it may be that the masks have come off, but yeah, we had a huge turnout for Memorial Day, and farmers market has been jammed on Saturdays. So it's great. Magistrate Harrison.
Jay McDowell has asked that we stay for just a few minutes after you adjourn the meeting so he can do some fine tuning.
All right. How did I asked at the beginning, have our microphone issues cleared up, or is it where we're sitting in relation to trying to do this, we don't know. So, Magistrate Tice.
I sit here, the more things I think about. Are we still doing? I can't leave yet. Are we still doing fireworks? Or are we not doing fireworks?
We decided because of the coronavirus situation not being completely cleared up that we would not do fireworks this year. Okay, so anyway, plus the fact that the price had gone up to $17,000.
Just need to let everybody know, and I wasn't sure.
It's gunpowder.
Yeah, yeah, right. That's gunpowder. All right, thank you for asking. Okay, and we did have. I guess we had a very successful skeet shoot fundraiser put on by the Rogers Group over at the skeet shooting farm in southern Indiana. I guess that would have been, it's probably been 10 days, 2 weeks ago. It was on a Friday. So, but anyway, somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000 was raised to support Oldham County emergency service responders. And we're going to have an appreciation event for the first responders and their families in August, but we're also going to we're looking at some equipment that we will be able to use and share among the agencies. So that's really I'm so appreciative of the Rogers Group for what they've done to step forward to recognize the emergency responders in our community. So with that, if we'll all stay seated for a second after we adjourn, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Favor, please say aye.